before we went on air. So let's go down to Salem right now. Pretty much every single one of them has water on the camera, has some rain there, showing that this is really happening all over the region. And we're going to be giving you some more in-depth news here on this here in just a second. We're going to be joined by Katie Zuniga to talk about this, but let's go over to the coast here for a second as well. You know, I know there is some water on the lens right there, but I got to say it is pretty fun when you're over the coast when there's a storm going on. Let's check down in Newport. Yep, same thing there. So appears to be pretty much everywhere that we are going around the region right now. And I know that we will, again, be talking about this here and having some more updates on what we expect for the rest of this week. But let's go up to the mountain even. Unfortunately, that is not snow on that lens. That is more rain on there. So again, thanks everybody for joining us here. This is Good Day Oregon Plus, and we are live here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and here we are. So again, yeah, I always say thank you for joining us, and we are here every weekday starting at 11 a.m., going throughout the afternoon, and, going all the way to our noon news, and then we're back at 1 o'clock, so a lot of live streaming here.
Yes, it's important.
It is indeed, and we do have Katie here joining us, so thanks for being here, and First Alert Weather Day.
Yes,
Big
three
day.
in a row.
3 in a row.
3 in a row, although I will do a spoiler where Wednesday is looking like the rain at least is backing off a little.
Okay, that's good.
Still watching for wind, and one thing we'll get into is we talked last week about how warm this is, no mountain snow. Well, just because the rain is slowing down doesn't mean that we're losing that flood risk because the rain has been up high, so it's melting up high, so there's still runoff coming off the mountain. That's a potential. So there's actually a flood watch in place until Friday morning.
Till Friday morning flood watching. That's huge. I mean, especially, you know, for anybody near, I would imagine some of those rivers. And, yeah, where those areas could happen. And, I mean, could we even see, like, landslides or things like that?
Yes, landslides, exactly. Landslides, flooding, rivers rising, and it's, you know, flash flooding, things like that. Just all of the above with this atmospheric river that we're dealing with right now.
So a lot to learn about this, which is why I'm glad we have you here to explain this to us.
Quite a bit of details and information to go through. I pulled in everything I have. I usually have to break this up throughout the mornings when we do Good Day Oregon, do them in small segments, but I brought it all together for you here in one. So we have your First Alert Weather Day today. It started off a little more dry, but as the morning progressed, those rains picked up. And this is what we're expecting is today through Thursday, we have as your First Alert Weather Days, another 2 to 4 inches of rain, depending on where you are through the metro and valleys, a little more on the coast and up in the mountains, especially along the coast range. We'll see wind gusts through the valleys 30 to 35. We could see some 40s along the coast, maybe even 45s on the west end of the gorge. This is a south wind that's coming up, so we'll see those stronger winds on the west. And then, as you were talking about, Greg, we have the possible flooding, mudslides, and power outages. And normally, a 30, 35 mile per hour gust wouldn't be, you know, a concern for down trees and poles. But when you have the saturation of all the rain that we are starting to see and expecting through tomorrow morning, which will be the heaviest, you have that soggy, loose ground that's been rained on quite a bit at once, and a 35 mile per gust could take out a tree or a power pole that wouldn't normally have that bit of an issue. So here's live radar, and I will say that this will morph up and down a little, but for the most part, where you're seeing the rain falling right now the heaviest is where we are expecting it to be. So smaller totals, the farther you go down into the valley, Eugene especially, we're looking at, you know, like an inch or so, but you can see the north part of the region, southwest Washington down towards Salem, and then into that west end of the gorge. That's where things are the heaviest going up those west slopes of the Cascades. This right here is what you would call the perfect visualization of the rain shadow. Because if you remember, we talked last week about how an atmospheric river, the water's a little lower, closer to the earth, not up as high as what we were having last week. Well, what's happening is it's coming in, it's hitting the mountains, it's going up, and it's raining, and that's pretty much it. So nothing is getting on the other side of the Cascades.
Yeah, it looks completely dry over there.
Yes, there's going to be a few showers, and you can see some off to the east toward Pendleton, Baker City, but this is like textbook atmospheric river, rain shadow. We're getting the rain. The other side of the Cascades is staying dry because it's just so low toward the ground, up, condensed, dropped on us, just ringing out. That number now has gone up since the last time I did my math. So we're right around, oh, my numbers are off there, about 1.25 inches or 3/4, maybe a little more than that now. If you add those 5 together, you'll have a different number because it just updated. Our average so far, which I'm sorry is not there, is 1.4, so a little less than 1.5 inches. So we're just only about a 1/4 inch more right now than the average. That's going to change.
Sounds like that's not going to stick that way.
Yes, that's why we're here. So you remember we used this last week. This is that atmospheric river, that Pineapple Express, why we're so warm. Again, it's the same thing. Think of it as a hose being pointed, just going up and down the coast, the west coast, Pacific Northwest specifically. But now here we are, 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and you'll notice that most of that precipitable water, the water that could be rained on us, is now pointed toward Washington, and you don't really have as much.
Yeah, it looks like they're really getting...
They're going to get pummeled a little more, and that's it. We really don't see much more of that atmospheric river anytime over the next couple days after that. So Wednesday afternoon, it slows down, but here, you see how that just didn't, it didn't let up. And I'm going to take this back and just go a little slower so you can see it again. So we come in, and the yellow is the heavier. There's maybe a tiny break in the valley right there, but the coast, the metro, the coast, there's the west slopes of the Cascades, there's really heavy right there. This is tomorrow morning. I was mentioning this just a minute ago on Good Day Oregon. All that yellow you're seeing, that's right around commute time right there. See that between 4 and about 7 a.m.
Yep.
So be ready for heavy rain tomorrow morning. Stays consistent. The coast, about 2 o'clock tomorrow, looks like it will break up a bit, but then it comes right back in, continues heavy, and then I would say it starts to kind of break up right about there. So Tuesday, tomorrow about 10, and then it starts to break off. And now we're into Wednesday, and that's when I see how it's all kind of to our north, and we're just getting some of the lower, just the beneath it, and then a little more, it looks like, coming in Thursday morning. So to play that back, I'm going to play that one more time in real time for you so you can see. This is the difference between, oh, we're getting rain and we have a first alert day.
Gotcha.
This is continuous, heavy at times, relenting, doesn't really let up, not often on showers. This is full-fledged rain. So here, as you would imagine, all the areas I just showed you where we were getting the rain, areas west of the Cascades, excessive rainfall, minor flooding expected, increased landslide risks, and our graphic kind of covers that, but it does go along the border there out into the gorge to the north. This is, and this one is all the way through Friday morning. So this is the one I was telling you about.
This is the, minor flood warning, increased landslide.
Yep.
And when you're talking about minor flood, like this is like near major areas, I mean, I guess just to understand what minor flood versus regular flood.
Yeah, well, we have, it's if this was all dumping in one day, it would be major flood risk because it's coming down somewhat. This is spread out over 3 days, so it's not quite the amount. Because when we talk about a half an inch in 3 hours, we call that heavy rain, right? Yeah. We're looking at almost an inch a day through, so it's not quite
a slow build.
Yes, exactly, a slow build, but with tomorrow being the heaviest of it all. So that's where the rain part's in, and then we also have to bring in, I'm just going to show you here to give an idea hour by hour. So 4 a.m., between 4 and 7 a.m., you can see that takes it all the way up into the heavy range, not just medium, but you go from tonight around 10 o'clock until tomorrow 10 a.m. and you're just the borderline. Oh, you just saw the model update.
Yeah, there it is.
You're just borderlining.
It's real-time updating. Huh?
Yes, I like to keep it as up to speed as I can. All near medium, like medium intensity.
8 inches around 4.
So almost, and that's 3 hour increments. So that's by 4 a.m. you get between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. we're going to get almost an inch. And then between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. we're going to get another half inch. So that's that total between each of those hours. And then if you go to 1 a.m. on Wednesday, remember I said it looks like it's backing off? So there you're seeing it's dropped down to just very light, just a few tenths of an inch through Wednesday. But with all of that rain, quite a few of us already have our leaves picked up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is still a lot for those drains to handle that quickly.
Right.
So whether you've picked up your leaves or not, you still really have to be ready for this much rain in that short of time. Okay, then I also wanted to show you this one. So we're not just focusing on Portland here, we're looking at the whole region. This is 5 days worth of rain.
Okay.
So we're looking all the way out for 5 days, ending on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And so obviously the Coast Range gets the most, 5+ inches. And that's what it's got, the first upslope, the first time that air is being forced up. So it gets the most. Then if you look over toward the Cascades, not as much, but still up to 5, 5 give or take, depending on where you are. And then when you drop down toward Eugene, you can see you're starting to get into that 1 to 2 inches range. And then from the metro down, you're looking at that 3 to 5. But I would say it's closer like 3 to 4.
With 5+ inches there in the Coast Range, it looks like, and even on the coast, I mean, is that seems like that would be a significant flooding risk.
Yes, absolutely.
Some of those different rivers, especially going down there, heading towards the coast.
Yeah, and you think about anybody, I mean, like if you've ever been over the coast, I know people live on those inlets and things like that, and their houses are really close.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. They live right on that. And you see when water's normal, there's only a few feet between their house and those inlets. So there's definitely, those are the type of people that are going to definitely need to be watching and paying attention to this, maybe even sandbagging now if they have an opportunity to get out and take care of that. If you go by or drive over any bridges or any areas that are low-lying or bridges are pretty close, like be ready for those to be, high and raised up. And if you have to, take a different route or plan for it, definitely suggest that. So then here we'll spread it out.
I did want to let everybody know too, we are live on YouTube and Facebook in addition to our regular live stream that we're on. So if you do have questions for Katie,
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. So this starts showing you tomorrow. This is the heaviest rain that we're going to see of this span of this atmospheric river. Wednesday, you can see there are even spots in the valley. It says it's not even going to get anything. And then we had those showers coming in a little on Thursday, just starting to show those morning showers. Our model doesn't quite go out that far. It's a shorter range one, so didn't show you that. Mainly dry on Friday, and then possibly some evening showers going into the weekend. But again, the heaviest, the wettest period this afternoon through tomorrow morning about 7 a.m.
So very important, for the flood warnings, landslide, I mean, that could happen. Safety on the roads too, driving safe in weather like this.
Yep. So that's one aspect.
Don't go 150 miles an hour.
Yep. I'm going to take you to our long-range European model that takes us out. This is through Wednesday night. And then we're going to go all the way.
Look at that amount of rain there.
All the way out to the 15th. So this is a long ways away. This is usually a little farther than I like to go because we've talked about that cone of uncertainty. This is, that sort of thing. But I just want to show you the potential right now that it's seeing all the way out until a week from today. So that's quite a bit. All right. Now, the next thing on this, we talked about the flood risks and why this is in flood watch is in place until Friday. We should be 47 degrees right now. And I don't see a 4 anywhere on our next. So this is that warm, atmospheric river, specifically the Pineapple Express, bringing in, we already broke records yesterday and the morning before for our lows for being warmest for that particular day. Tomorrow, the record is 60. Wednesday, I don't remember off the top of my head what that is, but getting those upper 50s to low 60s this late in the year, especially as we get toward the middle of December, that is very, very warm. Very warm. Now we look at the lows, we should be at 38. I don't see a single 30.
55 is the low.
So our low going into Thursday morning will be almost 10 degrees higher than our high should be at 48.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
also not that great for the mountains.
No, it's horrible for snow potential.
Yeah.
Just absolutely not a good thing. And what I mentioned earlier, with the rain and the warm being up high, it's melting some of that higher snowpack.
So what is even there
is going to be coming down toward us, and that's why we're keeping that flood risk. That is not a happy sign. But again, don't fret. We haven't even hit the quote official, I don't like to use that word, start of winter.
Right.
Okay, the second part of this is the wind factor. So we have this wind advisory that's now through tomorrow morning. There could be another one reissued into Wednesday morning. We'll be watching that. But when you take all of that rain in that short amount of time, and then you add gusting 30, 35, depending on where you're at along the coast and the valleys and the gorge. You add super saturated ground that hasn't been rained on very much, and then you throw inches of rain in there, and then you get these gusts. And here's where you have that issue coming in. So this is the observed wind so far today. Well, there we go. We just got our first 30-mile-per-hour gust that registered right at 11.
Where's and that's
this
here
is
in Portland?
Portland. Yep.
In
And
the
then
Portland area?
here's the forecast for. You can see going through tonight, so that wind advisory down through tomorrow morning, it backs off. So we'll be watching, past tomorrow afternoon if it picks up again on Wednesday. And then here is in Salem, another area. So there we're getting up into the mid-upper 20s for the wind gusts.
So this is tomorrow morning.
This is what we've seen already today. This is observed. Yep,
today.
observed wind gusts for today. And then here is what we're looking at. Looking ahead through tonight, getting up, staying in the upper 20s, and then see how it picks back up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Down
tomorrow night, and that's after all of that rain came down.
Exactly.
In the morning, yeah.
Yes, so that's why we have the flood and the wind advisory. So in itself, we would never have a first alert day for this type of a wind gust. This is, this can happen, but it's that specifically adding that in. And then the other area that's good to watch is the mouth of the gorge, and this one's a little higher. But it's a west wind really, but it's coming up from the south. And you can see mid-upper 20s to low 30s all the way through tomorrow morning. Is this the forecast for Troutdale?
So a lot to watch out for here.
Yes.
Specifically, sounds like over the next 24 hours. I mean, it's 3 days, clearly, but a lot happening.
A lot happening with the wind. Okay, so next, I want to show you the 7-day forecast. This is kind of the last thing I have for you.
Okay. And then Nicole, I see you have a question, so we'll get to that here after this.
Yep. Right now we have it first alert through Wednesday until we get into the afternoon today and look at all the new updates. There could be a chance that we end it Wednesday morning. Hopefully things continue to back off so we can just do first alert through Wednesday morning and not have to worry about the evening as far as the rain and the wind there, because it seems like it's headed that direction. But of course we have to keep an eye on that. We talked about temperatures, we talked about the ground, but just looking at, all the way through Sunday, we're at and well above average overnight, all those. It's just very abnormal to be going this warm and this wet into the middle of December.
Right.
Yeah. So again, I'm always going to be reminding you this is the best time right now before all this really takes hold. Get that QR code, go to your app store. We do updates as things are happening. So this morning, as the rain and the wind started, I sent out a 1-minute forecast. Typically, Drew does one in the afternoon, and then our evening crew do 1 or 2 going into the evening. So we're trying to keep you updated, especially tomorrow morning. I will definitely be on this and there and on the app, and it gets pushed to some of our social pages and things like that. So you can see those forecasts in a couple different places. But just before things get super soggy and super windy, I highly recommend grabbing this app so that we can keep you updated in real time with what's going on. As we talked about before, some of the in-house apps are automated off of one model. There's not a local human who lives in our area doing that. It's some computer in Southern California or something like that.
Yeah, so this is a way to actually hear from Katie and our meteorologists here.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of questions. So Nicole asks, are the cold winds possible snow in the future? And
well, we don't like to say out past 7 to 10 days for certainty. So right now the answer to that is no. We're not looking at anything cold right now through that 7 to 10 day, through Monday at least of next week.
So unfortunately, Mountain's not going to be getting that. Alex asks, what's Gates, Oregon look like? We have snow coming soon, ? And again, I think it's that same thing. Gates is over by Detroit.
Yeah.
Right, Mill City up to that area.
Right now, that would be a big no.
Yeah.
Not from what we're seeing, at least on our 7 to 10 day outlook.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
All that.
I wish I had, I'm a girl who likes Christmas snow. I like snow in the mountains. I want, the white Christmas and the skiing and the snowboarding and the snowpack for our water supply. Right now, we're just not seeing that.
Yeah, so we will we'll keep you updated on this. And Katie, thank you. That was really going a lot more in depth, which is what we get to do here with Good Day Oregon Plus or Fox 12 Now. I mean, we can take our time, walk through this all, really get a good understanding of what's happening and some of those risks that are out there too.
And I will be back tomorrow at 11 at the exact same time. It should be past the bulk of that heavy rain, so we can kind of come back and see how it played out, how it looks, where we're at. We'll check river levels, see where those are at, and so we can get an update in real time just after the heaviest rain was expected, and then see, is it going to continue into Wednesday? Are we going to be able to back off our warning? We'll see.
Yeah, so a lot more there, and like we mentioned, download those apps. So thank you so much, Katie. Thanks everybody for joining us. We have a lot more here though for the rest of the hour. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see this video end, but we'll still be here. I'll still be here with lots more on our apps and website. So I recommend downloading those, the Fox 12 Weather app, the other Fox 12 Oregon app. You can have both of those. You can live stream everything that we're doing, and that's our regular newscasts as well.
And we do have live radar on the app.
Live radar.
Yes, you can watch the live radar on the app and get an update and check what's happening in real time from our app. So if you don't have it, there's multiple ways you can be informed if you need to know what's going on.
So just go into your app store, whatever device you're on, or whether you're watching on, however you're finding us. There's an app on whatever device.
There's an app for that.
There's an app. So go there and grab those. That'd be a great thing. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. So we will take a quick break here, and we'll be back after that. We're going to continue on, and we'll catch you up on some of the other big stories that we're covering, things that we talked about in Good Day Oregon, things we'll be covering for the rest of the day. So that's coming up next, right here on Good Day Oregon Plus.